actually got to know about IBU, I think last year or sometime early this year, and I've seen that you guys now have like a lot of interest in Africa.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I mean, is there a particular reason?
As my colleague, she mentioned, diversity, inclusion is the values that we have been, this is the value of Canada as a country. You know, they respect immigrants. So being, the university born there, we started there. So even our values are diversity, inclusion. We want the cultures to be respected on the campus. Diversity is only possible when we have, people from all over the globe, the students from all over the globe at the campus. Yes, Africa particularly, maybe because of, as I mentioned earlier, the vibrancy that they bring along with the culture. So that is what we respect. That is all the more reason why we have come over here to, tell them directly that this is what we want. So yes, Africa is one of the continent that we want on campus.
And just to add to what he's saying, if you look at the growing trends of Canada being a preferred study destination for people from here, you can see that there's a growing interest from this part of the world, from Nigeria even. There's a growing interest. The trend for maybe 10 years back, if you check the percentage, is not what you have here. There's exponential growth. You can see that. So this is what makes Nigeria and West Africa, even including East Africa, a part that is desirable by most international institutions to enroll in African students. So it's the growing interest, the market trends, and just like as he said, the vibrancy from the people here.
One of the things I'm looking forward to is with where Africa is going to as the next. Everybody talks about Africa being the next big thing, and you have a university that is focused on innovation, and of course business is the core of that. I'm curious to the part of diversity where you now have maybe 60 nationalities in IB, and I don't know how many. I would ask how many you have thus far, and then you're able to have use cases of bringing all their business strategies, insights, cultures, and forming something that is really, really, really. You guys are smiling. You guys sound excited like that, but that's just how my brain thinks. The opportunity. Harvard came here to do a review on the Igbo trade, system, which they said was probably the best in the world, right? So imagine you have all that, and I don't know how many nationalities. What do you think?
Currently, it is more than 25 nationalities that we have on campus.
So you can imagine what happens when you're able to do, all that.
Yes, and the beautiful part of working on a business is these are different brains on campus. When they're dealing with each other, when they're doing the case studies, when they're doing the capstone project, this is what they bring out. The experience of their own cities, their own culture, their own tribe, and they use it for their betterment, for the ideas which they're going to bring up. This is how the nations are growing. This is how the world is growing positively. When we have positive minds and covering the different aspects, which maybe one person from Asia or one person from Europe will have different aspects of the same situation. And in business education, the case study is one aspect, which is the growth. From where the student will learn. So yes, the globalization is one aspect. And
just to add to what is being said about diversity, I think IBU's core focus also, aside the academic or professional focus and all that, we are also creating a multicultural environment where students from different background, this inclusion we're talking about, can interact together. Because we want to see that these students, their journey, it's an experience with IBU. So when they're leaving the four walls of IBU, they're living with an experience. They're living as a better versions of themselves. They're living as persons who have interacted with different persons. They're living as people who have the exposure, right? In terms of cultural exposure, networking, and even it will help them to be better leaders wherever they find themselves. So this is the focus. This is the drive behind everything we do at IBU.
And it's funny because it's centered in Canada. Canada has been at the forefront of immigration policies and trying to get people of diverse cultures,
Yes.
the best talents into the country for the last 15-20 years. Imagine what happens when people of diverse cultures go to a university like that, and then what they can do for their culture. People coming into Canada when they are done with school, setting up franchises, businesses, and obviously even cross investments, right? You're India, I'm Nigeria, you're Algeria, like that, and you're like, oh, my country has this, you have
Absolutely.
that. I have the network to be able to do this, and
Exactly.
and those things form the lifetime. Those things make for the next business tycoons across different countries, and it's really, like I said, very intriguing. The opportunity that is right ahead of of the university and of course the alumni.
Yeah.